To set expectations for the workshop, we're going to attempt to make a small heart. We're crocheting in the round today. Can I get one of each, please? Thank you. So, oftentimes when we're crocheting things like washcloths, blankets, starting on a cardigan, we start by crocheting back and forth. That's something that we covered the last time that 108 Contemporary did an I Can't Crochet. Today, we're gonna be crocheting in a circle. So the starting of it involves a slip knot that isn't tightened all the way, and it can feel a little bit like you are working with limp spaghetti. So don't hesitate to call on our wonderful volunteers if you need a little help. A lot of crocheters have slightly different ways of accomplishing the same goal. So if the way that I'm doing something isn't working out for you, maybe one of our experts has another way that'll work out. Can you go over the supplies they should have gotten from the back just to make sure everybody got what they needed? Yes. So you should have one of these papers, a bundle of yarn, a crochet hook, and a needle. And then we have pencils available if you would like to mark on your paper and you didn't bring it with you. And then anybody in a 108 apron, that's a black apron with the big 108 on it, for 108 Contemporary, is a crochet expert and can answer questions, help walk you through things. Please don't hesitate to call on their help. And if I am in the middle of a sentence, I will pause for you so that we can make sure that you get the help you need. On your table are examples of the finished hearts. So essentially, with this pattern, there are 3 rounds. So since we're crocheting in the round, if you stop after round 1, you get this heart. If you stop after round 2, you get this. And if you stop after round 3, you get something that, if you spritz it down with some water and pin it out, could be coaster-sized. Isn't that nice? But I wanted to make sure that if we stopped after round 1, we'd at least have a shape. So that's what we're gonna aim for today. And then we'll go over how you could continue, but this is gonna be our main goal. Because there's a lot of different types of stitches involved. All right, the first step is we're going to find an end of our yarn. So I've got one right here. Then I'm just gonna keep this over to the side. And then we're going to do what in crochet circles gets called a magic circle or a magic knot. It's essentially a slip knot that you don't tighten all the way. So I like to form it like this. It's a little fiddly, so I'm going to hold the tail end between my thumb and forefinger and then make an X with the yarn over my next 2 fingers. So one more time. I will go over this as many times as you need. This is honestly the fiddliest bit. I'm holding the tail right here. And then we're going to call this the working yarn, the part that's attached to our bundle. With that working yarn, I'm going to make an X over, under, and over again over my next 2 fingers. Once I'm here, I can grab my crochet hook. So I'll do that one more time. The tail is between my thumb and forefinger. And then I'm going to make an X by going over, under, and over with my working yarn, which is the yarn attached to the bundle. All right, from here, I'm going to grab my crochet hook, and I'm going to stick the hook between the legs of the X that are farthest from me. and then use that hook to pull it through. Fun fact, crochet in French means hook. That's where we get the name. And then just pull it up. I'll do that a couple more times. It's okay if you twist it up. So I'm sticking it through the legs of the X farthest from me, and then grabbing one of the legs and pulling it up. And I am twisting a little bit. All right, so that's the start of my circle. One more time for the folks in the balcony. Through the X, grab the yarn, and come back. Whoop. Let's see if I can do it. There, I did it. All right. So this is my magic circle. If yours looks something like this, we're in a good spot and we can move on. If you need help, raise a hand high and our 108 helpers will come to the rescue. All right. Now I'm going to grab some of the working yarn, so that's the yarn that's still trailed over kind of towards my pinky finger. Some of that working yarn with the hook. And now I have 2 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to pull the working yarn through the back loop. Doesn't need to be tight. I'm just pulling it through. I'll do that one more time. So I have my working yarn. I'm going to grab it. And I am holding on to the tail and my circle with my thumb, just so that it doesn't come all the way off my fingers. And here I did a chain 1. I'm going to pause and go over. So we've got several different types of stitches. And to start, we've got to chain some stitches to build up some height.
Can you go back to the end of the magic loop?
I sure can.
We got people that got the slip knot and then they took it off their fingers.
We're going to leave it off on our fingers for now.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you just came in, you'll want to grab some. Okay, perfect. So we got here to the end of our magic ring or magic circle. I'm going to, leaving that on my fingers, grab more of the working yarn, which is the yarn still attached to the bundle. Boop. I have 2 loops, but then I'm going to pull the yarn I just grabbed through the back loop. And here I can tighten it just a little bit. I don't want to be too tight. And if you got to this point, then you're ready to take it off your fingers. And I like to hold on to this part right here, the little knot we just made, with I just pinch it. And then because it doesn't need to be this tall, I'm going to pull my working yarn a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. So I pulled my working yarn so that my loop isn't too big. We've got some hands over here. Do I need to go over it again? Would that help?
Yes.
Okay.
From the beginning.
From the start. I'm doing a magic circle, looping over, under, and around. Again, this is the fiddliest bit. Going up through the X on the far side, away from me, grab the yarn and pull, and I am twisting up. And then I'm going to grab more yarn and then pull that through the loop I just made. And that's a chain stitch. Just grabbing yarn and pulling through a loop is a chain stitch. If you've gotten here, you're ready. You can turn your paper over and check out your pattern, because the small size is a series of 3 chains. So once I've pulled through that second time, I should have something that kind of looks like this. Again, it's going to feel like working with loose spaghetti, and if you're in the loose spaghetti phase, you're in the right spot. Once I'm here, I like to hold on to this part of the knot with my thumb and pinky or thumb and ring fingers just to keep it stable. And then drape my working yarn either over my forefinger, between my middle fingers. This is another one where there's a lot of different ways to hold it, and you're gonna see me change the way I hold it sometimes. So all this is just making sure that my working yarn is over here. So I'm going to grab more yarn. That's a yarn over. And when I yarn over, I come underneath and up. So that's a yarn over. I have a loop on my hook, and I'm coming under and over. We have some questions that we will get to. When I have this yarn on my hook, then I can pull through. That's my second chain stitch. I'm going to do that one more time so that I've chained 3. I'm going to come under, grab my yarn, so I've yarned over, and then pull through. If you were holding your yarn really tight, this might be difficult, so I'm holding it somewhat loosely for my example. As you get more accustomed to crocheting, how tight you want to hold your yarn might change. Shall I go back and show that whole process? Yes. All right. Yes. I'll start. I'll show you. So we are crocheting in the round. You've got to have that circle. If you have that circle, it's a good thing. All right. I'm not holding it taut, no. This is somewhat loose. This is the limp spaghetti phase. My tail is about the width of my palm. It's not very long. Because eventually I am going to pull that tail, and then the whole loop is going to tighten. So I've draped it over my knuckle between my, I've draped it between my thumb and forefinger. I'm making an X over, under, over. Again, I'm inserting my hook into the loop, or into the X, farthest away from me, and then grabbing one leg of that X. Boop, and pulling it through. This is not very tense, it's somewhat loose. And then I'm going to repeat the process of grabbing that yarn by going under the working yarn, over, and you'll see that I'm turning my hook as I go. So when I grab my yarn, I'm using the hook to do so. And then when I'm pulling the yarn through that loop I already have, my hook is down towards my finger. Once I've gotten here, I'm going to remove my non-dominant hand, my left hand in this case, and then I'm just going to gently hold this part with my fingers. In my case, I use my ring and pinky finger. This is my pinch. If that's less comfortable for you, then you can pinch between your middle and thumb. And then I'm going to grab more yarn to get to my chain. This is my second chain. And then I'm going to grab more yarn, going under, turn the hook back towards me, and then pull through. And that's my chain 3. If you're at your chain 3, then congratulations, you are already ready to help the people at your table. But for the sake of time, thank you, I am going to move to, so we've reached magic circle, chain 3. We've gotten here. And also, the wonderful thing about crochet, the thing I really like, is how easy it is to go back. By taking your hook out, pulling on that working end, you can go all the way back to the beginning. We call it frogging because you rip it. I've been crocheting for years, and I only got that pun maybe last week. So we're going to start with one of our fiddliest stitches. It's the treble crochet. So it's our tallest stitch. We're actually going to work kind of downwards in fiddliness, or backwards. So we're going to, holding on to our chain 3, make a stitch that's about the same height. We're going to yarn over twice. So that means coming under and around your working yarn once and then twice. I'll go back. So if you've chained 3, we're going to come under and around. That's yarn over once and repeat, yarn over twice. You should have 3 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to come through our magic circle. So working away from ourselves, we're going to come into it. And then grab more yarn. So yarn over. You'll notice that rather than manipulating the hook, I am just going to put that yarn over with my other hand. And then, absolutely. And then I'll draw it back to have 4 loops. I'll do that one more time from having the chain. Is this where? Okay. I've got my chain 3. I can count 1, 2, 3. The loop on your hook does not count as a stitch. I'm going to yarn over twice. 1, 2. And then insert my hook into the circle, including the tail for now. Boop. And then I'm going to yarn over one more time and pull this fresh yarn over back through the circle. So then I'll have a total of 4 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hear me say yarn over so many times today. We're going to be doing that a lot. We're going to get really good at yarning over. Once I'm here, partway through my stitch, we're going to, that's right, yarn over. So I have 5 loops on my hook. So these were the 2 before I went into the magic circle. This is the one after I went through the magic circle and back. And this is the last yarning over. Once you, all right, so let me back up to here. I'm at my chain 3. I've yarned over twice. I go into my circle and then yarn over again. So coming up and around, and then I'm going to pull that yarn through the magic circle back towards me. So I've inserted my hook away from me, grabbed the yarn, and then I'm going to pull that yarn through the circle toward me. So one more time. I have my circle. I'm inserting my hook into the circle, grabbing the yarn, coming up from beneath and over, and then I'm going to pull that yarn back through the circle towards me. And then I'm going to yarn over one more time. All right. This 5th yarn, we're going to go through the process of yarn over, pull through 2. Our goal is to end up with only 1 loop on our hook, and I'll show you how. So we've yarned over. We're going to pull this 5th yarn through the next 2, the 3rd and 4th. Yarn over, and then just wiggling our hook through those 2. we're going to go backwards, and then you'll have 3 loops on your hook. I'll do that one more time. Boop, boop, boop. Get back to where we were. Nice. All right, we all learn at different paces. It's, honestly, sometimes it takes a couple tries, right? This is kind of an unusual situation where we're in a giant group. You don't have somebody sitting right next to you who has been crocheting for years necessarily. But we'll give you a foundation, and then you can go from here. So that, you know, if you're watching tutorials on YouTube, you've at least heard some of these words before. All right, so I went through my circle, came back, yarn over, and then I'm going to pull backwards through 2 of my loops. I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to yarn over and then pull backwards through my 2 loops. This is why I'm holding it somewhat loosely. It doesn't have to be too tight. If yours is tight, you might have to kind of wiggle your hook as you go. So you're going to yarn over one last time and pull through 2 to get 1 loop on your hook, and that is a treble crochet stitch. So if you got to this point, congratulations, you've reached here. If not, I'm going to go backwards and we can walk through that whole thing together. So I have my chains, 1, 2, 3, and then my loop. I'm going to yarn over twice. 1, 2. And then I'm going to go through my magic circle, away, in and away from myself, and then yarn over once more. Pull that yarn through the circle. I now have 4 loops on my hook. And then, this is the part where we start a repeat process of yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm going to yarn over once, and then pull backwards through 2 of the loops that are already on my hook. 1, 2. So then I'll have 3 loops. This is also, we're right here on our stitch dictionary. Then I'm going to repeat the process of yarn over, pull through 2 until I only have 1 loop on my hook. So I've got to do it 2 more times, hence the name treble. I'm going to yarn over and then pull backwards 1, 2 through 2 loops. And then for the final time, I'm going to yarn over and pull backwards 1, 2. We need a total of 3 treble crochets. So I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. And if you're here with me, you can follow along. If you are struggling with your treble crochet, you're going to watch us do it 2 more times. So you can work at your own pace. And again, we have our wonderful volunteers who are, granted, spread thin, but they're here to help. All right, let's make another, ooh, I got that twisted. Turn it back around. I know my tail was on this side. So I'm going to make 2 more treble crochets. Here's my second one. I'm going to yarn over twice. 1, 2. And then insert my hook in and away from me into the magic circle and yarn over. And then pull back. So I have 4 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over once. Yarn over. And then pull through 2. That's 1, and this is 2. I need to repeat that process until I only have 1 loop on my hook, so I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. And you'll notice that I'm kind of holding on to the stitch as I work it with my left hand. Then I'm going to push my hook forward so I can yarn over 1 more time and pull through these last 2 loops. That's my second treble crochet. I can also, even right now, just kind of scoot the bottom of these a little closer together. So now I have something to kind of hold on to as I'm working. I'm going to make my third treble crochet. I'm going to yarn over twice, 1, 2. Insert my hook into the circle so that I can grab yarn. I'm going to yarn over and come back towards myself. So I have 4 loops on my hook. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2, and one more time, yarn over and pull through 2. Volunteers, we've got some hands up that have been consistent, so I understand that these are often not quick explanations, but I just want to make sure that we are catching the folks who need help. And just to check in, for the folks who have their hands raised, you're at the beginning? Totally fine. After the chains, in the trebles, own separate crochet journey? Totally fine. All right. Just want to make sure that we're getting to you. Okay. We have now reached the end of our treble crochet, which means we're going to move on. And the treble crochet is like the hump of our heart. These 3 right here are treble crochets. We start with this is our chain, and then we have 1, 2, 3 treble crochet. The next, to kind of gently curve downwards, are going to be double crochet. They're called double because you only do that yarn over, pull through 2 thing twice. This is going to be less fiddly than the treble crochets because we're going to yarn over once. So we have 1 loop on our hook, we're yarning over 1 time, and 1 time alone. Then we're going to insert our hook into the circle, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So we'll have 3 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over 1 more time to have 4 loops, and pull that front loop through 2. We yarn over, we got to pull through 2, and 1 more time, yarn over, pull through 2. We have to do 3 double crochet, so you're going to watch me do that twice more, if that's where you are. To make a double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook to pull up a loop. We are going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And to complete our 3 double crochet, we've got to do that 1 more time. Yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our 3 double crochets, and I'll show you. So I can tell that this one with all the bumps and nubs, that's my set of chain 3. And then I've got my 3 tall treble crochets in a row, 1, 2, 3. I can also count by the tops, 1, 2, 3. And then I have my 3 slightly shorter double crochets, 1, 2, 3, or if I count the top loops, 1, 2, 3. If you are to this point and you're running out of a tail, which I've been trying to kind of encase within my stitches, here's why we call it a magic ring. Is because if I pull on the tail, the circle tightens. So if I've gotten to about this point, then I have a little bit more to hold on to, a little bit, and I can, by tightening, start to see the shape of that heart come together. Will it be helpful if I go all the way back to the start of the double crochets? Okay. I'm going to frog, by which I mean I'm going to pull on my working yarn back to, I know this is my chain stitches, 1, 2, 3. These are my treble crochet, so I'm going to go backwards by pulling on that working yarn. And when I have this extra loop sticking out here, that's how I know I was at the end of my treble crochet. So I'm going to reinsert my hook and double crochet time. Yarn over, insert my hook into the circle, grab yarn and pull it back towards me, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And then yarn over and pull through 2. So by doing that, by only yarning over once, it means we have to yarn over and pull through 2 twice to finish our stitch. That's a double crochet. I'm going to do that 2 more times. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull, come back here. Grab my yarn and pull it back toward me. Yarn over. So I have 4 loops, but I got to get to 1, so I'm going to pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. That's my second of 3 double crochets. And you also might notice me changing the way that I hold the working yarn. This is another personal preference thing. If I want it to be a little bit tighter, I might wrap it around my finger more times. If it needs to be loose, it might just be draped between my middle and forefingers. It is a personal preference thing, and the volunteers might even have more individual ways. All right, my last double crochet, we're to here. Yarn over, insert the hook into that circle, boop, yarn over and pull up a loop. So I have 3 loops, then I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And from here on, we're not learning any new stitches. Hooray. From here on, it's chains, trebles, and double crochets. So we're going to make the point of our heart from here. I'm going to tug my tail just a little bit, not all the way closed, but just think about here is probably good. And I'm not going to insert my hook at all because I'm going to chain 1. When we chain, all we have to do is yarn over and pull through. That's it. To go backward, I had my double crochet that I just finished, and I'm going to yarn over and then pull that through. So this right here is a chain stitch. When you do a straight crochet, you typically start with a bunch of chain stitches, and then you ask yourself, do I know how to count? Because you got to count all your chain stitches to make sure you have enough to do your pattern. So the chain stitch is one of the most commonly used stitches in all of crochet. If you learn that, you're in a good spot. So I did a chain stitch, and then I'm going to do our treble crochet, which if you recall, we already did that, we're going to yarn over twice. 1, 2. So, and then insert our hook, draw up a loop. We yarn over and draw up a loop. And then, you may recall, we're back to yarn over, pull through 2. 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 And then one more chain to make our point. So in our pattern, we did a bunch of trebles, chain, trebles, doubles, a chain, a treble, and a chain. And that makes the sharper point as opposed to the softer curve of going from a tall stitch to a slightly less tall stitch. So I'll back up to right after our doubles. So to repeat that process, and again, I want to be conscious of our time, we're going to chain 1, and then do a treble, which is yarn over 2, insert our hook, yarn over and drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, right here, boop, 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 and then chain 1, which is just yarning over and pull through. And then we are simply going in reverse. So we had 3 treble crochets, or 3 doubles, 3 trebles. We're going in reverse to close our heart. So next we have 3 double crochets, 3 treble crochets, and then we chain 3. And then we'll be pretty much done.
So we have about 5 minutes remaining. And first of all, I want to say you guys are troopers. This, as an amazing of a teacher as Laurel is, and she's phenomenal, this, honestly, I can say is our hardest I Can't workshop. So if you are feeling like I still can't do this, that's okay. Like, this is a really challenging one. So bravo to all of you for sticking in there and giving it a try. If you need something to kind of like calm your brain down after concentrating really hard, our next workshop should be a lot more chill, so definitely stick around. But I want to make sure, and I know you're trying to finish up the project, Laurel, but could you just, as you're finishing up, tell us a little bit more about 108, what's going on there? And I want to make sure that everyone knows, this is very important, you guys. 108 is free to go to, okay? It's not like there's no admission. At any point, you can just go into 108 and see the amazing things they have on display, as well as their gift shop, which is really well curated. So can you tell us a little bit about what's going on at 108?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So if you are still working, we've got to do our 3 double crochet, 3 treble crochet, and chain 3. If you are not still working or you're on a pause. So we have some of these up at the front. 108 Contemporary just opened its new exhibition, Backstories, and it's so fun. The artist, who is a graphic designer, a sculptor, a woodworker, has combined his artistic and trained pursuits into a really interactive and interesting exhibition. So we had our opening last night. I had a couple people come up to me and call it genius, and a couple of people come up to me and ask, is this real? So if you'd like to question your reality, please feel free to come on down to 108 Contemporary. We're just over the bridge into the Arts District to the north. We also have some exciting programming coming up. We have our Vino and Vision event, which is wine and incredible charcuterie on next Thursday, the 13th. And the sommelier, Pablo Aguilar, with Wine is Food, his whole mission is you eat your wine, you don't drink it. And so he has an entire guided experience through the wine. It is a come and go event, but we encourage you to come and stick around, enjoy the art, enjoy the wine, enjoy the charcuterie. And you can sign up at 108contemporary.org. We have all this at the front. And then, whether or not, no matter how far you got into your crochet, we have another workshop coming up where we are using just this round 1 as a basis for vines. So why learn how to crochet in a round? Because you can become obsessed with crocheting plants and fill your house with plants that your cat can't eat. Or maybe that's just me. So this workshop, it's $35 with the kit, $20 without the kit. But again, these will be available up the front if you want to grab one on your way out. Or you can register via our website. Our socials are all 108 Contemporary. Our website is 108contemporary.org. All right, I'm going to show you just how fast I can crochet through the end of this, because I have to do 3 double crochets. I want to show you how to slip stitch it into the end. So I just did I already do my chain one? Yes, it's tiny, but it's a chain. I got to do 3 double crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Yarn over, insert the hook, drop a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through. That's 2. And this is my 3rd double crochet. So we've got a little space left. I can pull it if I need be. I need to do 3 treble crochets. So I'm yarning over, pull through 2, 3 times. Getting a little tangled, get away from me. Burp, burp, burp. I need to do that 2 more times. Oops, I only yarned over once. Back it up. Yarn over twice. Pull up a loop. These are my treble crochets to make the curve of the heart, that upper kind of hump area. And this is my 3rd treble crochet. And because we're just we're mirroring the other side, we started by chaining 3 after our magic circle. So I'm going to chain 3 to end. So just yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's my chain 3. And then we're going to do a slip stitch. A slip stitch is kind of like a chain stitch that joins 2 things together. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, and then pull through. And that attaches this chain to the circle. I'll back up. So let's say you got to that chain. You're going to attach it to the circle by slip stitching to the circle. And if this is where you wanted to stop, you could snip and pull it right off your hook. And then you've got this magic tail, the circle of the magic tail. You pull it, it's closed. And then you simply tie these together. Baby, you got a heart.
That was some amazing speed crochet work. Let's give a big round of applause. Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank
crocheting
you.
along with us.
Laurel Ryan, 108 Contemporary, we appreciate you so much. Laurel, can you please tell them what supplies to return and what supplies they can take home?
We will take the pencils back. The end.
Okay, so you can leave with your crochet hooks. Thank you. That is courtesy of 108 as well. They are an amazing partner. That back table right there is where you can find more information about 108. Tulsa Achieve Scholarship info is at the check-in table. And just kind of clear yourself some space. We'll be setting up for the next workshop here in a moment.
Thanks again.